Good morning, everybody. This is Brian. Say hi to BR. Yeah, you can call him BR. His friends call him BR, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Brian is the guy that maybe once every year or so we have this, we do a several-week thing called Financial Peace University, right?
Yes.
Dave Ramsey, it's a videotape thing. I guess we don't even use videotape anymore.
No, that's
I'm old.
long gone. Ancient.
But Brian, listen, I know, don't spend more than I've got. Why do I need to come for several weeks to learn to not do that?
So our average mindset in society is you have a mortgage, you have tens of thousands of dollars in credit cards. That's just how normal is. We don't want to be normal. God doesn't want us to be normal. The borrower is servant to the lender. We don't want to be slaves. We want to be free. God has set us free, and he wants us to walk in freedom.
So in this, tell us the details, like it starts when, how many weeks, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so it starts Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. It's a 9-week course, so it'll end March 5th. And so the normal price is $129, but we are getting it at a discounted price of $69. Cool. Now that's per couple, per individual, depending if you're single or married.
Awesome. And I know a number of people, we've done this a handful of years, the last several years, and a handful of people that I've talked to, like their lives have actually really changed, meaning like they've learned some of the principles, some of the things, and they stopped doing certain things, started doing other things, and it changed their life. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
So some of the things is that, yes, we write out our bills, or sometimes everything's done online. When you put things, we try to teach things to put things in an envelope system and use cash, and just to try to get a different mindset. And their eyes are just opened on what they spend. For example, one of the biggest things we spend on is fast food. And they're just like, oh my goodness, I spent this much on Starbucks. I spent this much at McDonald's. And so it's just been eye-opening, like, I spend all this on this particular
You're acting like that's
category.
a bad thing.
Well, if you have the money for it, yes, okay, it's fine.
Just checking.
But just as long as you have the money for it. But.
So my mom did the envelope system. I remember that, you know, we grew up and she would get my dad's paycheck and she would take all of his money and put it in different envelopes. So I'm like, what on earth?
So that's the thing, is that this is nothing groundbreaking. This is not something innovative. This is just back in our grandparents' time and parents' time. If we wanted something, we saved up for it, and then we had the money for it. We didn't pay extra. We didn't pay interest for it. They just had the money ready to go.
So are there a couple of key things maybe people are going to learn when they come?
They're going to learn, first of all, that emergency fund is vital. For example, it's not a bunch of information just all at once. It's broken up into what's called baby steps. So for example, the first baby step is put $1,000 into the savings as quick as possible. And that's in case, you know, the car breaks down, or, you know, you have to go to the hospital or for something, just to have it ready to go. So, the other thing is just to stay on budget and do a budget together every week. Like you sit down with your wife, or if you're single, with a friend that you can be accountable with, and then you just do a budget every week. So you can see where, and then every dollar has a place, every dollar.
I remember one time Don and I we were counseling a group of young couples. We were marrying a handful of them at the same time, and so we had like this little, we kind of did like a little class, and part of it was we looked at finances. We got done with the end of the class, and we told them all, none of you can get married. You can't afford it. And so that whole dilemma of, well, I only bring in X amount, then what do I do?
Well, that's okay, because then if you just make a budget for that particular category, and then you put the money in that envelope, and then once the money's gone, that's gone. You just stop. So this is just for somebody who makes $30,000, somebody who makes $30 million. You just stick with a budget and stick with your plan.
$30 million, that's Stephen, my son.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time.
What other kinds of things do we need to know? Just encourage us. What am I going to get out of this?
This is going to sound a little strange, but if you're married and one person is not in agreement with it, we don't want you to come. And the reason why is because we don't want animosity within the house. And so if you're not in agreement, you know, don't.
If the other one wants to go in debt, don't come.
Right.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay.
What is spoken in the class stays in the class. It is very confidential. We want to be there to support you. One of the biggest lies of the enemy is that it's pride, is that, oh, well, that person's doing better than I am, so I'm not going to take the class. Complete lie. So you need to come with a mindset of, we are all struggling in some sort of way, and we need to just have an open mind of, okay, I need help with this. Do you ask the other people in the class, how can I help, or can you help me with this?
So I'm not just going to watch a video. There's going to be time when I'm interacting with other people.
Right. So there's going to be 60 minutes where we watch a teaching video, and then after that hour or so, we're going to ask questions about the video, and that it'll be real-life examples to what we're going through in our budget with our money and the goals that we want to do. So the ultimate goal is to be on a budget and then to live like no one else, which means don't live like the Joneses, don't have to have the fancy things if we can't afford it. You can have those things, but just if you can't afford it, you just don't do that. So you live like no one else, so later on, you can live and give like no one else, because the ultimate goal is we want to give, and we want to give liberally and generously and just serve.
I love it. Anybody out there, you have a question? What about this? Yes. That's a good point. Before you answer, Matt asked a great question. If you're self-employed and so the income can do this kind of, it kind of morphs, how do you deal with that?
So I don't have the answer in front of me, but in one of the sessions, it is discussed about in great detail about how to handle that step by step. He does cover that.
That was a great question, Matt. A lot of people are self-employed, have their own businesses. Yes?
It's a great question.
Would you take him out?
Security? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very good question.
Excellent question, Caitlin.
So easy that if you'll come to the class, you'll learn.
That's right. Step by step.
Anything else we ever left out?
The other thing I want to say as an option is that if you can't come to the class or not interested in the class, I think that every married couple should go through it. And so if you know somebody who could use it, why don't you gift the class to them?
I like it.
You can give them the class. I think it should be part of premarital counseling myself.
So Dave and Ann can't afford it. I should pay for Dave and Ann to come. That's what you're talking about.
Absolutely.
Okay. Dave and Ann, you're in.
So I just want to reiterate that it is not about, we're not looking at specific things don't feel like you're going to be judged or condemned for mistakes or failures, because we all do them, all of us. And so we're here to help, we're here to encourage and get people to just a better place financially so they can be where they want to be. They can travel where they want to travel and go do what they want to do.
Many of you remember Brad Moore, who used to work here and has moved to Nashville. Brad took this class about 3-4 years ago, and it radically changed his life. Like he would say to every one of you if he was sitting here, this totally changed what I was doing, and super helped him.
The other stat I wanted to actually also provide is that, so they've been doing this class for over 27 years, and on the average family has paid off $5,300 in the first 90 days.
Wow.
I don't know how but yeah, on average. So it's possible. And we actually are debt-free, praise God, Gabrielle and I.
You and your wife?
Yes, we are.
Beautiful.
Yes. So we are very thankful. It's just so freeing. It's just so freeing. I just can't encourage you more. I've been going throughout the store or gas station just telling people about this class, hoping that somebody will, because it's just so helpful. It is just so beneficial to take it.
So BR is the JTB of the FBU or something.
FPU.
Yeah, whatever. That's Brian. Thank you.